And I think because enforcement officer Reinhardt is on the call, Chief, if possible, if you all could put some recommended regulations together that you recommend having on the signs from a code enforcement perspective, and just circulating those to the town to give us a chance to offer any sort of input, I think, or just to see it, before it's posted on the sign, I think that would be helpful.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. And so with that, that concludes our discussions on old business. So we'll move forward with new business with respect to Live Well Day Health Fair. Councilmember Rout.
Thank you, Mayor James. Colleagues, town staff, and town residents, we were invited to a Live Well Day Health Fair to basically just participate. This was an email for us to publicize as it relates to health, wellness. It'll be taking place in the town of Cheverly. They did this prior to COVID. And of course, it stopped because of COVID. And so the organizer was trying to bring it back. And so I just took a special interest just with being a mental health advocate and a health advocate. I do think this is something that we should just sign on to do. It's not going to cost us anything. The only thing is for us to promote it on our social media platforms. And so I just thought it was a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Rout. So I think given this is really administrative in terms of the follow-up. So if everyone is fine with it, I think Mr. Charnovich, you can move forward with just promoting it through the normal channels, the e-blast and so forth. A copy of the flyer is listed there, and it does indicate it's a Cheverly event, but it doesn't require council action. So, and there's no cost to the town from the materials that were provided. Councilmember Brown, I wanted to bring you in. I see your hand.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm not going to comment on everything, but thanks. Just real quick, because it is a Cheverly event, I mean, we can promote it. And like you said, it should go to the administration side, but it doesn't say anything about Bladensburg, but we just.
Exactly. We're just supporting our neighboring community, and we can encourage our residents to attend, but really it's just an administrative item in terms of our involvement. Yeah. And of course, if anyone's able to attend and get out there, please do. Councilmember Rout.
Thank you, Mayor James. I was actually looking for us to consider partnering or putting our name, promoting it as this being like a co-sponsor event, which is, I mean, we get invited to things all the time. And I did think that it was that important to bring it to the town council for council action since we were invited. So that was the purpose of bringing it to my colleagues today. Thank you.
Thank you. So it sounds like just from discussion so far, everyone is okay just having it promoted. We're not contributing financially to it, but it is good to support our neighboring communities just as they support us. So again, thank you, Councilmember Rout, for that. Seeing no other hands, we're going to continue on with the agenda to the new server proposal from our town IT consultant. I don't believe NTI is on. So Mr. Charnovich, are you handling? Okay, the discussion. Okay.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. So it was recently brought to my attention that the town's entire, this is separate from the email migration we've been chatting about here this evening, separate topic. The town's server for all of its IT stuff is approximately 10 years old and is incredibly low on storage capacity. And it's also my understanding that NTI provided a bid to the town about a year ago to upgrade the server. Unfortunately, I guess, short story, I was in a different capacity at that point for the organization, so I don't know what all occurred there. But now we're 1 year later, and as I understand it, now things are even getting more difficult to manage on the IT side of things. So the procurement of this is over over $10,000. So that's why it's before us tonight. And also I'm not sure how many years NTI has been here, but they know our system the best. They know what we need. They're here weekly, sometimes more often. And their recommendation is something that I think we need to do. And also it's a capital investment, and Mr. Tennelly could also speak on that. And I might even ask Chief Collington to touch base too on his department with respect to the types of networking stuff happening, and as we install more programs and more things that are needed to help all of our departments, we need space. We need space on the server. I think the whole server was NTI advised me is like 8 gigabytes or something like that, which is not a lot of space at all. Not at all, especially with cell phones these days are I think more than that. So that's kind of the overarching summary. I don't know if any other department heads want to touch in, Mr. Tennelly or Chief Collington, before turning it over to the council. But I think it's something that's certainly needed after 10 years, and as things are expanding, it's the show must go on. So that's the bottom line. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Charnovich. Mr. Tennelly, you were leaning in a little bit.
Yes. I was going to say this has been something I've talked to NTI about, I think, for like the last 3 years. And it's, as Mr. Charnovich said, I mean, it's age. I mean, I think that server is really 11 years old at least, going on its 12th year. And that's old for a server. I mean, servers last multiple years, but in the meantime, we've changed out hard drives, added memory, added a new power supply. I mean, we keep doing internal upgrades, but we're at the point where you can't upgrade it anymore because you're still on the old architecture. So you can only upgrade it so much based on the old